but we've got a big program today. And so we're excited about that. Lots of great speakers. So I'll go ahead and I'll open in prayer, and then we can share some wins. And I'll share one win right now. I haven't actually checked the record, but I think we might have just had the biggest February we've ever had. I mean, I was just blown away. We're blessed, ultra blessed to have 11 directors, and the 3 of them were over 10,000 and one was just a little under 10. So that's for personal volume, not group. So thank God we had a very remarkable month, just tremendous. So why don't I go ahead and open in prayer, and then you guys can share some wins. And so here we go. Dear Lord Jesus, we come to you with gratitude. We thank you for how you help us each day, and your kindness and your mercy upon us, and that you are the strength of this team. We're very grateful to you. Lord, we pray that you would guide and bless this meeting, direct every single word and thought, so we can have a wonderful, encouraging, edifying time. And pray you bless the speakers and speak through them, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So who has a win they want to share? Something good that's been going on. I know Barbara has a brand new senior manager.
Yes, so we have a manager.
A new manager too?
Yes, a new upgrade to manager.
Okay,
But Lucy
great,
has always been a senior manager. And
okay.
we had 3 club members signed up for the team in February. So that was good. One was from Cecile and the other 2 from one of the ladies who stepped up as manager, Gerald, I should say her name is.
And is
So
she the one that got 3 people under her?
She's the one that got 2.
2. Okay.
And Cecile got the other one.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Yeah, Cecile got one. Cecile got one that she bought a weight loss pack, I believe, a weight loss solution.
Yes.
But she can tell us about that because she's one of our speakers today. Who else has a win? It's good to see Ramona with us, that's for sure. Hi, Ramona. Good to see you.
Hi, Ramona. Hi.
I have a win, Bob. I survived the shoveling. I didn't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Nice, Brent. Nice.
Brent showed me pictures of the snow this morning, and he's got a really pretty deck, I tell you.
Well,
so,
buy a couple of upbeats to go challenge later on.
Yeah. Right. Who else has a win they want to share?
I do. This is Janet. I just wanted to relate that several months ago, I signed my son up with the breakfast solution, and he started to feel really terrible. And we couldn't figure it out. And finally, I realized that the Pro Vitality Plus is not gluten-free. And he has a really severe sensitivity to gluten. And so with the help of NeoLife Corporate, I put together a PDF of the gluten content of all the different products. And so I've been able to hand that out to a number of people that I've been talking to who are hesitant to go on, for example, the Trey NN has very little gluten in it, but it does have gluten in it. So anyway, that's been very helpful.
Wow. Okay. How many products? Okay. So which ones have gluten? Is it just Trey NN and Formula 4?
No, there are actually some others that have it as well. I can share the PDF with you, Bob, and you can send it out if you like, but 20 parts per million is the threshold for being gluten-free. And of course, there are the gluten-free labeled products, which are in the clear, but then many of the of the products are not labeled gluten-free, but qualify as being gluten-free under the 20 parts per million threshold, and others
I
do
see.
not qualify. So it's interesting. So I'm a little more, I'm gluten-free, so I'm careful for myself now. And being gluten-free, I know a lot of gluten-free people. So the list has been very helpful.
Janet, is, can you use Trianin or does it bother you?
No, it bothers me.
Oh, does it?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been told that some people who have to avoid gluten, I've been told some can handle it without a problem.
Right.
Because I heard there's differences, like some people can handle a certain amount, and then others a very minute amount will affect them. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, that was certainly the case with my son. I mean, his face puffed up and you know, all of the signs of having gluten in his system. So
even 20 parts per million or 40 parts per million might affect him. Is that it sounds
correct.
like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And anyone with
Wow.
celiac, of course, should also avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
celiac mean, is that the same as gluten intolerant? Or is
No,
that
it's
different?
not. No.
Oh.
It's when your colon is completely inflamed because of gluten. And it's a diagnosis that has to be carefully managed.
But I have to say that I have somebody on the breakfast solution that has celiac and has no reaction to the Trianin, and she's never felt better. So
Terrific.
sometimes it's just depends on the person, but it's always good to have the information.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives
Leslie had
people
a
more
good,
confidence, I guess. The list
Yeah.
gives people
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
Leslie had a good question in the chat. What did you put him on?
Oh, he's just on the shakes right now. So he's a little gun shy. I'd like him to be on some other things, but it's a long process. And I'm his mom, so you know, he's not going to listen to me much.
Ramona, did you say that you have somebody that has celiac but can handle the Trianin? Is that what you said?
Yeah, no problem at all. And the same thing that she said was, Ramona, I can see this is not gluten-free. What do you think? Like, should I be taking it? And I said, it's going to be on your personal comfort. Try it. And if you get any discomfort, then we can talk about maybe another product for you. But she never had a problem. Not only that, she called me up and said, am I cured? And I go, cured from what? And she goes, my celiac. I said, what do you mean? And she goes, my stomach has never felt better. So there's the complete opposite
Exactly.
to that situation. So and I had the same issue when she said it had gluten. I was so worried for her. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to give somebody something that's going to make them sick. So I said to her, it's very small amounts. Just take a pack. The next day, take another, but be very cautious on how your stomach reacts. But within a short period of time, she thought she was cured from celiac. She felt so good. So that's a really tough one. It's hard to have all the answers to that. Yeah.
That is, well, this is perfect illustration that some people they can't have any, and they react, and then others, we see the same thing with people say I'm allergic to dairy. Some of them can handle the shake with no problem, even though the protein in the NeoLife shake is extracted from dairy. And some people say they're allergic to soy, but they go on our products that have soy and they have no problem. And it might be possibly because our stuff is all non-GMO. That might be a reason, or just that people have different tolerances. Like two people are allergic to gluten, but one can have a tiny amount and it doesn't bother them. The other can't have any. So, you know, individual differences, but this is a perfect illustration. Janet's son, it affected him, but Ramona's customer feels better. That's amazing. The thing to keep in mind Well, I'll just tell some quick announcements here and then we'll jump right in. At 11 o'clock today, the Zoom number will be 963-644-1807. Password is ATP. That's at 11. And what we're going to have two, the two fastest growing teams in the company are Wisdom Builders and Bald Eagle team, which is Louis. And so we have play recording of two Wisdom Builders talks. They're motivational in nature because we can all get discouraged and they have some very powerful messages. So we're going to play those at 11. If you didn't get that, it's 963-644-1807, password ATP. So that'll be at 11. And then we want you guys to know that our Wednesday night meetings are the same password I just mentioned, same Zoom, and they're at 5 o'clock now, West Coast. And they go 30 minutes, maybe just a little bit over. And what they're designed primarily for is to help each of us rank advance. Because when we get to convention, most people say that it's quite a rush to get on stage and get acknowledged and recognition, quite fun. And to do that, many times we have to rank advance. Not always, but sometimes. So, but nevertheless, we want to rank it in advance, and that's the purpose of the Wednesday meeting. So if you want help with going up to the next level, we can help you do that. So, because convention's only 4 months, 3 weeks away, and we want to not be stagnant or going down. We want to be our business, see our businesses grow. So that's the purpose of Wednesday night. If you want to grow your business, if you want to get to the next level, come on Wednesday at 5. We can help you do that. Okay, well, we're going to jump in right now to our first speaker, who is Gina Ellis. She is director in the Hanson team. She's in Wisconsin. She has an amazing story. She has a beautiful family and large family, and she's going to share what happened to her when she went to the Anaheim convention. So it's a wonderful story. So I won't tell any more details. She's still experiencing financial benefits years later. So let's welcome Emerald Director Gina Ellis, and let's give her a very warm hand. So it's all yours, Gina.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Am I coming through loud and clear? Because we have spotty internet here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
We can hear you.
So thank you, Bob. It's wonderful to be here with all of you today. It's been a while since I've jumped on a BOC. I've been pretty busy with having moved in the last year, and I have a 1-year-old. He's my youngest, and a new grandson that's 5 months younger than him. So lots going on here. But I'm a stay-at-home mom. Have been using NeoLife for my whole life. Loved it. Raised my kids on it, had very healthy pregnancies, things like that. But I was just using the products. I talked to people about it here and there, didn't really promote NeoLife. My parents, Wayne and Leslie Hanson, were very encouraging, always offering to help me if I wanted to get a business started. I really didn't want to, as I was homeschooling my kids, and just thought it wasn't really doable for me. Well, in a turn of events where one of my downline had a convention ticket that they didn't need, I ended up going to convention because I hadn't been in years. And while I was there, just listening to the speakers, seeing how ordinary people were having extraordinary results with the new tools that the company had for promoting, I got the vision. Like, I was there, I think it was the last day. I called my husband when they were offering the tickets with the early bird price. And I said, I think this is it. I think we need to go next year. Can I buy 2 tickets? And he heard it in my voice over the phone that something had changed. I believe it was just that I realized, even though I had, at the time it was 7 kids, trying to think where that was in the line. I felt like I could do it now, and it was the right time. And he said, "Yeah, go ahead, buy those tickets." And he came with me to the convention the next year. But in that year, we had joined success teams. We started talking to people intentionally when we would see a need. Started following up with people, contacting old customers that were not using the products at the time, just really treating it more like a business. And then he came to convention with me the next year. I believe it was in Las Vegas. And that year, we went from being directors to Sapphire directors. And we actually hit our Sapphire director at convention. Like during convention, we saw the numbers come in, and Josh said right from the stage that had just happened, and it was pretty exciting to get recognized like that right away. And so we qualified to go to leadership school, and so we were sent on the an amazing trip of being at the Brassfield Winery. We were there for 3 nights, I believe, 2 or 3 nights. Put up in the most amazing accommodations, wined and dined, but learned a whole bunch of stuff that was really helpful in growing our business. So that was an amazing trip. I'll never forget that. And then a month later or so, couple months later, we ended up qualifying for World Team and going to the World Team Conference in Maui. And that was another amazing vacation. I love tropical. My husband, Tony, likes mountains and things like that. And I like that okay too, but I'm more of a tropical gal. So we were put up in the hotel, all expenses paid, airfare, everything. And our walkout from our room was right onto the beach. Basically, you had grass and then beach, and it was just amazing and gorgeous. And my dream is to get back to the tropical vacations again. So just in that length of time, those few years that we were really working the business, my husband came alongside me. I needed his help to do this. We grew so much that my bonus checks went from, hovering around $1,000 to my biggest one was $4,000 in a month, just about $4,000. And that, a lot has changed since then. It's been several years now. I've had 2 more babies, and we have stopped promoting the business as we sold our house last year, and we just took a break. But the residual income is still coming. Our checks are still around $1,000 again. It comes and goes with how much you decide to put into it. And what I love is that the work I put in way back then is still paying. And I'm still in contact with these great people and still helping people. And that was, I like the money part of it. I'm kind of money driven, but I also love helping people and seeing results with their health. So that's kind of our story. Did I miss anything, Bob? You want to ask me any questions?
Well, if you could, just 2 questions. Number 1, was the motel they put you up on in Maui, was that like a Motel 6 or what was it like?
Oh, absolutely not. It was top of the line. That was like probably the best hotel I've ever stayed in. The food was amazing. We went to a luau that was right there on the last evening. Swam in the ocean that was right there. Yeah,
Now,
it was great.
And did they just feed you oatmeal and sandwiches or what?
Yes, very healthy, but no, not oatmeal and sandwiches. We felt good eating what they fed us. Yeah, it was really good stuff.
Gina,
Yes, Mom.
how about this last convention?
This last convention, yes, that hotel was top notch. Oh my goodness. As a matter of fact, we were able to take our whole family. So we took, almost our whole family. We took 8 of our 9 kids. Our oldest is married and has her grandson, so she didn't come with us. We took a road trip, drove 2 cars because we don't fit in one of our cars. We drive 2 cars everywhere. Drove 2 cars from Wisconsin to Tennessee, stopped along the way a couple nights, and played in the water park there with the kids. What was the name of that hotel? It escapes me.
Opryland?
Opryland, yes, in Tennessee. And just yesterday, my 16-year-old said, when I get married, I want to spend my honeymoon at that hotel because I love all the gardens. And I can totally see her doing that. Like, you do that, girl. Just, it was amazing. The whole family loved it. And convention was really great. They got to come to the dinner and everything. They got to sit in on some of the sessions. We had tickets for all of them, but they weren't required to be there the whole time. They kind of came and went as they watched the little one outside the doors and in the hotel room. So
You
that was
know,
great.
Gina, was it just one of your kids, or did you have all of them with you at Phoenix? Because I remember your kids seemed to really enjoy Phoenix too. I saw them on the dance
Yes.
floor the last night, with
Yes.
your dad. Beautiful pictures.
Yes, we had, I remember the theme. It was roaring the 20s or something like that. The
Yeah.
flappers type. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter Anastasia, who's 18 now, was the one. It was her turn to come along to watch the little one that we brought with us. So I've brought Cecilia, the oldest, once or twice, and then Julia has not come, but Anastasia, it was her turn to come. Well, Julia was with us last year, but that year was Anastasia in Phoenix, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And she loves desert and cactuses and stuff. So it's perfect for her.
It's amazing because your nieces and nephew, Tanya's kids, just
Mhm.
ate it up. Remember, they
Yeah.
just
I
love
do.
convention. I
Yep.
think they were in Seattle and Phoenix, or I think they were at 2, and they loved it. And is that
Mhm.
true with your kids too? They enjoyed it quite a bit?
Yes, they did. And they had a better appreciation for what NeoLife is all about when we were done. It can get overwhelming for them at times having us do things that require them to, okay, watch the little ones again. We're going to a meeting, or we're going to present NeoLife to somebody, or right now I'm locked in my office, my bedroom. And luckily Judah, the little one, went to sleep right before I came on. So he's asleep in my son's bedroom over there.
Okay.
And but they see what the products do for people. They see the impact it's had on our lives, and they realize the good that's going on because of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know Clark's and Blaine's and Merritt's and lots of homeschool families bring their kids because they
Yep.
want them to be around entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes.
And most of the people at convention are very family oriented, wouldn't you say?
Yes,
So
very
it's
much.
a very positive environment for the kids, correct?
Yep.
And just in closing, Gina, we're so grateful to you for coming on. But could you say the 3 or 4 most important things you'd say when you got the vision at convention? What are the 3 or 4 most important things to do to be intentional to build that business? Because you guys went, I don't know if you were even director when you went. I'm not sure what your level was, but you went clear to 10,000 in one year. What are the maybe 3 or 4 most important things, would you say?
Okay. Treating it like a business, because if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. So we needed to treat it like a business if we wanted to grow it. The next thing would be actually following up with people. That is huge. I get busy and forget to follow up with somebody, and I know I lose business that way. I lose being able to help people that way. So that's really important. And then let's see, I lost the last thing.
Was it BOCs? Because I know you used to have
BOCs. We did BOCs.
Okay.
That was really good. And that leads me to what it was, developing our team. We brought along team members to convention. Like, I think we had, there were 10, 15 of us.
Wow.
Well, yeah, they came along to some of them, and we had little team meetings at breakfast and things like that. We'd get together with the kick bushes and the reefs. And Michael Lee was with us one of those years, and then being with my parents and whatever of my siblings were along.
Yeah.
Really great time. So developing our team and helping them have the tools to be able to grow their teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Well, what a wonderful family business. And Gina's life has changed quite a bit with the move and 2 additional kids. But here, so she's not real active now, but look, still getting nice checks from work done years ago. And I'm hoping to see her at a tropical location too.
That'd be great. I'd love that. Right now we have snow here, so that sounds great.
Okay. Okay. Well, Gina, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience. It's quite a remarkable story, you know, to go. Were you director when you came to that convention?
Yeah, I think we were just director. I'm not sure if we were Emerald director. We may
Okay.
have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to go clear to 10,000 and
Yeah.
then the Grassfield Estates Winery, that's a fun trip too.
Yes, and to be able to hold that for a good amount of time.
Yeah,
To remain Sapphire for a good amount of time. And I know
Right.
it would have gone from there if I hadn't gotten too busy.
Yeah.
And stopped treating it like a business. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your beautiful, beautiful family. And you know, as time changes and the kids grow, you may be able to re-engage,
yes.
stir up a lot of old business again, possibly. Yeah.
Yes, and I do plan on that. I know that it's there when I'm ready to start building it again.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, you guys give her a hand. Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. I won't be able to hang out. There are people coming over tonight and we're moving furniture and stuff. It's spring break. My husband's probably just pulling in with our new desk. So
Okay.
I gotta go, but you guys have a great day.
Thank you so much, Gina. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys, from there, we're going to go to Cecile Joseph. And Cecile was at her first convention in Nashville last year. She's a very fun person, very capable person. Her rank is executive manager. And she agreed to give us 5 or 6 minutes to tell about her experience at the last convention and why she re-signed up to come again. So Cecile, are you ready?
Yes, Bob.
Okay, there's Cecile. Okay, you guys, let's give her a big welcome hand, okay? Okay, go for it, Cecile. Please share with us.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good afternoon to everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Cecile Joseph. And thanks, Bob, for that very informative introduction. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Because I know sometimes this gives me a problem. So the question is, why am I going to Texas after being at Tennessee? But I just want to give you a synopsis of how I really started with NeoLife. I'm a part of Barbara Chichester's group, and I met with Barbara on her Zoom in January 2021. But this was as a result of Allison, after making several attempts to have on the Zoom. She tried, but it was mainly text messages. But then one day she decided to call me, and that was in January 2021. And thereon we started to talk about what she has been doing and how she's been doing weight loss. She beat diabetes, as well as the business aspect of things. Then the question was, do you know the level of your vitamin D? I said to her, no, I don't know it. She said, well, you need to go check it out. It's called hydroxy 25. I did that. And following that, at the end of January, I went on to one of Barbara's Zoom. And on that presentation, it was up again, vegan D, vitamin D, vegan D. And I took it from there. I called Allison after the session closed, and I asked her, how can I get this vegan D? And the rest is history. I got there. I got so many more I got blown away with all this information. I even attended Bob's session, a few Bob's sessions, where he did demonstrations with the salmon oil to prove that salmon oil is the way to go and not those fish oils and omega-3 that are out there on the market. And so now, Bob would tell us or show us what convention those previous conventions were, and how it's important to attend. And I, within myself, Barbara too would do it, and others would do it. And I'm saying, I need to experience convention. So even though I was registered in February 2021, and it was June 2021, I could not have attended that convention because of my previous plan. So it was last year, 2022 convention that I said I must be there. But I didn't only go alone. I took a friend with me, Alia. I shared with her, and she became a member of NeoLife, promoter. And so we both went along to convention 2022. Let me see, I made my notes so that I won't forget what I have to say. So why am I returning to Texas Impact Summit? Now, all those successful stories, all the health transformations, the business, people were over there willing and ready to share their experience about how they got to where they were, and they were ready to share to help us to meet our financial goals. They even showed us a lifestyle worth working for. Before convention or Impact Summit, my focus was just on my health challenges, personal health challenges, knowing that NeoLife has a solution for the transformation, that was it. But after convention, after Impact Summit 2022, my focus has changed. I now need to get myself more involved in the business. I need now to work the work. And Bob has been showing me this a couple of weeks ago. To help me to get to that point, even though I came back with this passion, yes, I want to get there, I was not as much as I ought to. But Alison and Barbara, whenever I speak to them and I can set Barbara, I'm a person, I freeze. I can hear your problem, but I don't know where to go, how to go, what to say. But Bob is showing me the way forward. Bob is asking me to share and do not, like what I heard at convention. It doesn't matter if the person does not sign up. What is more important is the follow-up. And I've proven to be correct because at the end of 2 of the sessions, I told him I'll do 3. Then the following week, I told him I'll do 3 more. Out of that came an individual who signed up, and that was with the help of Alison, because that person wants to do the 30-day challenge. And Alison is more okay with what goes on there, so I had to call her in to assist me. So I got one person with the help of Alison and with the help of Bob, and knowing fully well what I heard at convention 2022, follow-ups are very, very much important. So my thing is, coming out from Impact 22 or Convention 2022, it has removed some of my shyness. I'm still a bit shy. Don't worry, I'm still a bit shy. But I'm going to get there. I freeze sometimes, but I think I'm unfreezing right now. The thing is with Convention 22, another thing is that the relationship, the friendliness. I remember on the last day, someone from Texas, she identified herself as from Texas. She told us her name, I can't remember, but I look for her when I get to Texas. She walked up to us and she was having a very warm conversation with us. It was as though she knew us and we knew her too. And that, that resonates so much of what Bob and Barbara and others were saying, the friendliness, the fun time, the relationship. I saw it. And relationships that would help you to build your business. I saw it there. Now, after the gala, I can recall, and I would always recall this. Two things I would recall. The team meeting that we had with Bob and the gala. Let me tell you, after the gala, Alion and I, we could not have gone back to our rooms. It was as though if we go into our rooms, we'd be missing something outside. We went back to where we were staying, but we sat in the lobby. Barbara would say, this is not a time when you would be in your room. It's not a sleeping time. We didn't want to sleep. We just wanted to reminisce all that place. And that was what we were doing. We were even taking out pictures of ourselves, and saying, we're gonna be back. We're going to Texas. We're going to Texas. And yes, Texas is it. We're gonna walk. And you know what? From coming out from Bob, who's encouraging me, I want to walk on that stage. Yes, I was celebrated as an executive manager. I stood up, but this time hopefully I'll be walking. Another thing that came out from when I spoke about my shyness, I spoke about the gala. At Bob's meeting, at that team meeting, I now recognize the importance of our whole food. Let me get Barbara's word. The important said whole food in concentrated form. Whole food in concentrated form. I now I recognize how important it is when children are being fed with the right nutrients. I saw a baby, and that baby was not behaving with lots of fuss and things like that. When it was time for that baby to, I think it's the same person that just came off before me. I think it was her baby. I'm not too sure. When the baby felt as though he was ready to have his nap, he crept up to his mom and she took him up and she moved out of the group and she rocked him to sleep. Yes, there were children there at his age and even a bit older. But because I come to recognize that it was all because about the body, the nutrient that these children are having, that they're so calm, that they can sit with their parents for many hours in that convention center. That was one of my take home. The supply, the supplement, the whole food, concentrated form, how it works for each and every one of us. Now, my thing is, after saying all of that, who would want to know that they can be at a place where people are so friendly that without even knowing your name or where you come from, they would just walk up to you and start talking with you as though they have known you for so many years. Who would want to be at a place where everyone would unselfishly think about how you can move forward with your business, where they told us where they were and where they are today. How many presentations they did and no one signed up, but that did not discourage them. Who would want to be at a place where you can say, I was among the many that sampled the new whole food and concentrate form first. Well, I did that with a beat. And so my take in this whole thing is, for those who have not registered yet for Impact Summit 2023, it's not late. You can do so. Come and experience, as Barbara and Bob would say, a lifetime, an experience of lifetime. They will not only say that, and I am saying the same thing to you now. It is a life-changing experience. It has done that for me, and it will certainly do that for you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Cecile. That is tremendous. Thank you so much. You guys give her a big hand. We've heard from two speakers this morning how convention changed them. Gina went from director to world team in 1 year and got a free all expense paid trip from Wisconsin all the way to Maui and just highest deluxe resort. I mean, world-class resort. Cecile mentioned life-changing for her, so much so that she signed right up to come to the next one and not miss it. So you guys, if you guys have goals, any of you that have goals and you want to increase the likelihood of that goal becoming a reality, because Cecile just told us it changed her life, and I believe her too, because of otherwise she wouldn't re-sign up to come and pay the expense to travel and lodging and all that. She's saying in her mind it's worth it because she saw and experienced it. And so you guys, you've heard from two people, tremendous benefit of being at convention. And all the top people will tell you that too. And the people in our team that have the biggest businesses are the ones who've been to the most conventions because, much more exposure to wonderful ideas and concepts and freedom. So you guys, look forward to seeing you there. And thank you, Cecile. Give her another hand, you guys. Give her a hand. From here, we're going to...
Very much so.
What's that?
I'm not so fine.
Okay.
I'm
Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is your mic? Okay. Were you going to say something else? Cecile?
No, I was just saying.
Okay.
We want to thank everybody who stopped and saying you're welcome.
She wants to tell you thank you, Bob.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, you guys, we're going to go now to another couple that's with us. The husband is going to speak. They are directors, Brent and Ramona, high quality people. I was only around them a very short time and at the Phoenix convention, and they fit hand in glove with our team, with the company. They're down to earth, genuine people and wonderful people. And Brent has agreed to give us 5 minutes of personal development this morning. So let's welcome directors Brent and Ramona Chichester. And Brent, take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Happy Saturday. Bob asked me to talk a little bit about personal development. And just to go back a little bit, it's one of the key things in our business is personal development. There's use the products, share the products, and the personal development. The first two gives you intimate knowledge as what the products have to offer. So, you take the products and you get the benefit, and you could share with the people around you, which is the next part of the process. Share the product. Where this development comes in is when you want to expand beyond your little circle. That's where the skills of development come in. It gives you the ability to not fire hose people, because my experience has been I started taking the products and I started feeling a little bit better, and I will tell my coworkers and I will just fire hose them, with everything that all the emotions, all the goodness that NeoLife has to offer, and it's too much. So through personal development, I was able to learn the skills to kind of control the emotions and to express it in a way that they can understand and digest it. And for lack of a better term, it's the professionals call it making it a profession. So personal development comes in many different forms. You could, read, there's podcasts, there's meetings like this. The key thing to remember is as a new person in this business, we all are going to be influenced by something. So the trick is to get influenced by things that help you grow. So like I said, attending the meetings here is one example. And there's also external ways of developing personal development, taking courses. Eric Worre, if any of you are familiar with him, he is probably the guru of the industry, and he has classes that you can purchase of really high value. But again, it's all personal development is the skill that you need. Everybody in this business here, Bob included, and Alan Blaine and all the successful people, Barbara, they all use these techniques to grow their business beyond their personal circle. So that is the key advantage of personal development, is giving you those tools, how to communicate in a way that, like I said before, to not be, you are more like a farmer versus a hunter, is probably the best way to put it. So you're planting seeds in people's mind. If they express a particular, financial or health issue concern, you're not there to, you just there to offer what works for you. So you're not, and that's a wonderful thing about it. It's technically, it is selling, but it's done through sharing. And I know it's a very fine line, but it means a world of difference. It's one is professional and one is not. I guess that's probably one way to put it. When you share with someone, it opens a door to have a relationship, which is what this whole thing is all about, is meeting people, forming relationships, just like Gina and Cecile mentioned with the, how their charisma with NeoLife, it's all based on the people that you meet and the relationship that you develop over time. And you have no way of knowing, I mean, from our perspective, you don't know where anybody's at when you meet them, but you have to have that openness, and along with the training and the skills, it kind of gives you an advantage, a way to communicate without being that person. So I started this journey once I got introduced to NeoLife, and it has changed. Again, it was a game changer along with going to convention for me personally. It has opened my mind to what I need to learn, and some of the skills that I've picked up has changed how I approach my business. You want to ask questions and provide solutions to people. That has given me the skills to communicate in that manner, where you're a detective. You're finding out more about that person so you can better serve them with what we have to offer, whether it be the health or the business. So it's what it requires from the individual is commitment. It's a lifelong thing. From what I'm learning, it's not a skill that you pick up and just and it ends at the end of the book or the end of the podcast or the end of the meeting. It keeps on going to the next one and the next one, because you evolve, you learn things, and you learn to adapt to different scenarios. And that's the key thing, to allows you to operate in different levels. So you can adapt to objections, or someone coming at you that at an off the wall angle. You have the skills now to handle it professionally. So that's been my little adventure with personal development. It's around here we have tons of opportunity. Like it's free. There's a lot of free resources available. The BOC is one. We have Bob's meeting on Wednesdays, and that keeps us in contact with each other to not let our mind stray. Because as humans, we will wander. We don't always have the focus it takes to do all these things. So by attending these meetings, it kind of keeps us on the rails to let us get to where we got to go to. I know myself personally, I'm easily distracted. Somebody yells squirrel and my brain has gone somewhere else. So, having these meetings on a regular basis and attending them does make a big difference. And the big meeting being convention. Eric Worre always had a quote that says, leaders are born at convention. People that make it to convention always seem to do better than the one that don't. They're not sure why, but that's just the numbers work out. So that's all part of the personal development program. So I said for myself, it's been an ongoing journey of constant learning, and it's been evolving, keep on evolving. So thank you, Bob, for the time. I pass it back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Brent. Thank you very, very much. Brent mentioned staying close to the campfire, and I know Louis Smith is a 2-diamond, and Louis said we should attend every NeoLife function, every NeoLife meeting we possibly can. And he said, even if you've heard 95% of it before, he said, if we keep open mind, we'll still pick up something new and it'll probably refresh us. So I agree with Brent there. And we're very grateful to have Brent and Ramona that, like I said, they're high quality, genuine, down to earth people, very comfortable to be with. And so thank you so much, Brent, for sharing.
Very welcome. Thank you, guys.
Okay, from there, we're going to go to Barb Barbara Bird. She's in Southern Oregon. She's in the Carol and Jamie Wilson team and John and Debbie's team downline. And I looked at their volume in the last 12 months. You guys, I think we should congratulate them. They are senior managers and they have moved in the last 12 months 15,906 PV. So you guys give Barb and Rick a hand. Rick shared his incredible story with us last VOC, and Barb's going to share a little bit of her story, a little bit about her favorite products, and then some personal development material. So Barb, if you could take it away, please. Welcome, Senior Manager Barbara Bird.
Thank you, Bob. I'll just briefly touch on what NeoLife has done for me. It's not nearly as, I don't know, exciting or whatever as what Rick has to share. But as most people, the longer you live on this earth, through wear and tear, injuries, whatnot, you just kind of have little aches and pains. Your body doesn't function like it used to. Maybe your eyesight goes away a little bit. And I was experiencing those things every day. About 1, 2 o'clock, I needed to take a nap because I just was so sleepy and tired. And I thought, well, that's pretty normal for someone my age. And I needed to have readers if I wanted to read the mail or pick up a magazine or whatever. And I thought that was pretty normal until I started taking the NeoLife breakfast solution. Excuse me. Oh, I need to drink water. After about 2 weeks of being on the breakfast solution, I noticed I didn't take a nap anymore. And that was a big change for me because that was part of my everyday routine. My overall aches and pains were gone. I just felt good, which was wonderful because I had gotten used to them. That was my normal, but the aches and pains were gone. At night, I didn't sleep. I mean, I thought it was okay, but I had interrupted sleep all the time. Now I don't. I sleep all night from the time my head hits the pillow till I wake up in the morning. And I'm so happy that I don't need to wear glasses anymore. I can pick up the mail. I can pick up a book. I'm reading my notes and I don't have to wear glasses. And to me, that was just so annoying. And most of these changes took place after only being on the breakfast solution for 2 weeks. So I thought that was great. Another thing that I had that was real concerning to me is when I ate, especially a big meal, my stomach hurt so bad that I knew that I was going to need to go get it checked out because it was almost unbearable. And that was another thing, like I said, after about 2 weeks, that just was totally gone. So to me, all of those little things are wonderful because they're not part of my life anymore. Four of my favorite products are the Pro Vitality. I think that is such a wonderful product because you're getting 4 for the price of 1. You're getting each capsule in itself is a power pack nutrient. The vitamins and minerals, the 8 omegas, the carotenoids, and the threonine, each one of those are wonderful. But put together in one little pack like that, the synergy between them just does such wonderful things for our body. The one I just will not go without is my NeoLife shake, because to me, I don't mix it just with water. I put it in milk and then I add frozen fruit to it. And I like goodies. So it's like having a milkshake for breakfast. So I feel like I'm having dessert for breakfast, but I know that the stuff that's in it is so good because it just, you couple that with the Pro Vitality and you can't beat it because in the shakes you're getting again 25 vitamins and minerals, 22 amino acids, all the enzymes, balances your blood sugar. And one thing I noticed that after I started drinking that also every day, I used to have my hand in the chocolate chip jar at least 4 or 5 times a day. And I found myself not doing that anymore. It's like I didn't even want it. I didn't crave it. So I think I had a craving for sweets that I didn't realize that I had. That's gone. And I do enjoy a cookie now and then, but I don't eat a half a dozen at a time like I used to. I love the Cal Mag Plus D because our Pro Vitality does not have calcium in it. And I know that's so important to us. So the magnesium helps our body absorb the calcium. Then you put the vitamin D along with that, which is something we all need so much. And that's just a great thing. And I think that's part of why I sleep so well at night too, is because when I added that to my breakfast solution, that's when I really noticed, my goodness, I don't even stir hardly at night. I just sleep through the whole night, wake up, and I feel great. The fourth product that I've learned to really like is the Upbeat, because I know not only that it's doing good things in my body because of the things that it does to our circulatory system, expanding our blood vessels, carrying more oxygen, and that it puts not only nitric oxide into our bodies, but it helps our bodies keep producing it. So just knowing that is great. But what I love about it too is maybe if I got to bed late and didn't sleep as many hours as I should have, or if Rick and I are out clearing the property or doing something that's heavy and strenuous, to take a glass of Upbeat is just like a little energy boost. So I really, really enjoy that. So I'm glad that NeoLife came out with that, because that's a great product. The personal development I'm going to share with you, Bob asked me to share, is called, let me get this up, Calling Things That Are Not. And it's a study by Charles Capps. He's not with us anymore, but his daughter has taken over his ministry and still produces the literature and teachings that he used to teach. This is something that I started reading accidentally. It came in the mail one day, about calling things that are not. And it's not about denying situation or a problem that maybe exists, but how to change it to what we want it to be. And it kind of sounds like way out there, because we haven't heard it a lot and we haven't been taught it, but it's very simple and it's very down to earth. I'm probably going to read most of this because I want it to be clear and I don't want to forget anything. Excuse me. Calling things that are not is not denying what exists, but rather calling for a different situation or outcome. For instance, if you went outside to call your dog and your dog wasn't there, Rick, you need some water. Excuse me just a minute.
I'll get it.
I'm sorry. Anyway, if I went outside to call our dog Harley and he wasn't there, I wouldn't say, oh, my dog's not here. My dog's not here. I would say, Harley, come Harley. And so my dog would come, and that would change the situation. God says life and death are in the power of the tongue. He created everything by speaking it into being. Jesus said, whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe you receive them and you shall have them. It's a simple principle, and it's so simple that we've missed it. When Jesus said in Mark 11:23 that a man shall have what he says and doesn't doubt, he shall have whatever he says. So the saying is the important thing, not just thinking it or wishing it, but actually verbalizing the words out of your mouth. That's calling things. It's not mind over matter, but operating in God's principle. People operated in the negative side. For instance, you might have heard someone say, every time we're going to go on a trip, the kids get sick. Or I'm always broken, can't ever get ahead. I'm worried I'll get laid off from my job. So it's not that we don't use the principle. So many times it's used in the opposite of what we want. And we're just merely stating what we hope doesn't happen, but verbalizing it almost into being sometimes. It's not pretending adverse things don't exist, but rather calling things that you want to change the situation. For instance, if you're afraid, you could say just the opposite. You might feel afraid, but you say, I'm bold, I'm courageous, and I can do this. You say the thing until it gets down into your heart, and then you can say it in faith, and it becomes a reality. It takes time and it takes patience. One thing to remember also is, say, in this business, we all want to be successful at it. And we all, have these great meetings and influence around us. It's so easy to get discouraged though and say, well, I know it worked for them, but I don't think I can do this. Or I'm just so tired of people, saying no. Or in other words, we're speaking against the very thing we're hoping to achieve. And it's so easy to do, but we need to make sure that we don't do that. If you believe it's God's will for you to be in health and prosper, you don't say, I'm broke and always will be. The flu's going around, I'm sure to get it. I can't do this NeoLife thing anymore. No one ever listens. I have a terrible time talking to people. I'm just going to throw in the towel. And I know that I have felt like that more than once. And last week, actually, I did. I just felt like I couldn't do this anymore. So I thought, I've got a choice to make here. I can either give into this or do something about it. So I decided to do something about it. I have a little book by Joel Osteen, and one page just really jumped out and struck me. So I would like to read you the blessing that I have started reading sometimes twice a day, because sometimes we need more encouragement than other days. It said, I'm blessed with God's supernatural wisdom and receive clear direction for my life. I am blessed with creativity, courage, talent, and abundance. I am blessed with a strong will, self-control, and self-discipline. I am blessed with a great family, good friends, good health, faith and favor, and fulfillment. I am blessed with success, supernatural strength, promotion, and divine protection. I am blessed with a compassionate heart, a positive outlook on life. Any curse or negative word that's ever been spoken over me and my family is broken now in the name of Jesus. I declare everything I put my hand to is going to prosper and succeed. So with that, I had only been reading that for just a few days. Monday morning, I had an appointment to get my teeth cleaned. And I thought, I'm just going to take some samples into the office, give it to the girls, let them share it, talk to them a little bit about it. And which is something I wouldn't have done before, because I would have thought maybe, well, they won't be interested, why bother? But I went ahead and did it, felt really good about it. The office receptionist was familiar with NeoLife. She'd taken it as a little girl. Her mother had given it to her. So she kind of perked up. And then the hygienist that cleaned my teeth was so excited. I need to, like you were talking earlier, follow up on her because she said, I need this stuff and I want it for my family. So I think if I hadn't, well, I know if I hadn't changed my attitude and put some good food for my soul inside of me, that never would have happened. So I'm looking forward to just more good stuff. But I want to encourage everybody too that sometimes we just need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, feed ourselves some good faith building material, and you reap what you sow, and things can change for you. So that's what I have to say today.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, what Barb was sharing, all of us get discouraged. And I was telling her, I think she had heard it before, even the very top gets discouraged, because Jerry Brassfield told us at one time in his earlier days, he was so overwhelmed with fear that he said he wanted to curl up in the fetal position and just die. He said it would have been more convenient to die because he's so overwhelmed. He couldn't even go out of the house for 3 days. And all he did was read the Bible, read Think and Grow Rich, maybe 1 or 2 other positive books, to just grasping for a pearl of strength that could help him. And so you guys were all subject to that. I was being real negative one time with Louis and telling him, Louis, I am not cut out for this. I do not have what it takes to do this. And he diagnosed me in about 10 seconds. He said, Bob, have you been doing your personal development reading to strengthen your mind and spirit? I said, no. So he diagnosed me in 10 seconds. So I started reading Zig Ziglar. About 2 days, I was going, wow, I can do it. So thank you. Let's give Barb a hand. Thank you, Barb, for sharing. Very, very, very relevant, very practical. Give her another hand, you guys. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you guys, from here, we're going to go. We have 2 speakers left. We have Mark Ritchie, and then we'll go to Debbie with some product training. And Mark has been on the product for many decades. I think he's much healthier than most people in his age group. He's, I believe he's over 75, but still very strong, can drive 14 hours in a day when going to visit family. And he's in Iowa. And you guys, in the last 12 months, he sold 41,842 PV, you guys. So he's one of our best, 41,000, over 41,000 in the last 12 months. And so you guys, let's welcome Mark Ritchie.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. I'm not going to correct you on my age because it was below what I am. So thank you for that. I was wanting to ask Bob, I'm number 3945. Does that mean that that's how many distributors they had when I signed up?
I don't really know. I don't think so, because my ID is 22.
Okay, forget that. Okay, now we'll start. Yeah, I've really been enjoying all the things that have been going on this morning. And I have always equated this job as my ministry, because when I receive a shipment, I don't just unload it and throw it on the shelf. I treat it as it's almost sacred, because this company that we work for is a company of integrity. Now that's hard to find today. One has really got integrity. When I sell this product, you cannot get a product with that type of dedication to making it so it really works for you. And I firmly believe that God made crops and food for what he created, us. And the less we tinker with it, the more benefit we will get from it. Because I've seen in life that when man gets involved with changing or trying to improve on what God made, he just makes a wreck of it. And we're in worse shape than ever. So NeoLife is dedicated to delivering what God created as close as they can in pill form to benefit mankind. And I am part of that mission. And so I keep telling Bob, I says, we need to pray that NeoLife maintains this integrity and that our leader remains strong. And he always has one answer. He says, then pray for her and the company. So I do that because companies, a lot of times when they get bigger or more successful, they lose that vision of staying close to what God created and delivering it to us. So I believe that's the big difference. And I've got several examples here of how it has worked with my customers. He asked me what 4 products I really like. And that was hard because I like all of them, but I'll go down 4 of them. The first one was Trianon. That's actually Formula 4. And so I want to take you back to when my mom had arthritis really bad in her hands. And I told her, you know, you need to take this Formula 4 that we've got. Salmon oil wasn't even out yet. And so she tried it, she got violently ill. And so I called, I think it was Lauren Brink, my head at that time, and asking what I could do, because I knew it would be good for arthritis. He said, well, have her freeze that and just take 1/4 of it. Really? Yeah, he says, I think it's her gallbladder is not able to handle the fats and the oils and break them down is the problem. So she did that, and she went 2 months just taking 1/4 of it and didn't bother at all. Then she increased it to half. And finally, after 6 months, she got it clear up to full strength. And at that point, her hands started hurting really bad. So I called and I said, what can I do now? I mean, it's working on the arthritis, but her hands just really hurt. And so he referred me to Don Lawson. So I called him, and Don said, take alfalfa plus fiber. You remember that product?
Yeah.
So she took the alfalfa plus fiber, and that neutralized that acid that was being taken out of her joints. And she was able to use her hands and get back to a brand new person. So I really like Trianon for that purpose. But the other purpose is we like to save money and get the most out of what we take. And by feeding the cells, which is the foundation of our health, we utilize actually more nutrients from the food we eat. So even though a lot of it is depleted, we get a lot more than the average person by taking Trianon oils and keeping those cells healthy, because then they have a brain in their membrane that knows what to take in and what to get rid of, keeping us well and energetic. So to me, Trianon is great, and I don't lose sight of that. So today I have a lot of people that can't afford the Pro Vitality, which I think is great. So I sell the Formula 4 Plus. I tell them they can get a 2-month supply of good nutrition instead of 1 month of Pro Vitality, which would give them a little bit more. But the whole company started on Formula 4, on Trianon, and made huge gains in the health of many people. So I do that a lot of times if they can't afford the Pro Vitality. And my experience is they always move up to Pro Vitality after they've been on it for the first 2 months. But it gives them an opportunity to experience the difference and where they can be in their health. Second one would be salmon oil. And I'm in the paper business, and my paper salesman was here, and he was telling me about his grandpa that had arthritis in his hands so bad he couldn't hardly move them. And it was right at the time when salmon oil was it was a big thing out there, just been introduced to us. I said, well, I'll tell you, our salmon oil is different. And I didn't want to burden him down with all the reasons why it was different. And I said, so he should probably try it before he gives up on it. He said, well, he's gone to the health food store and tried 6 different salmon oils and taken them all back because they didn't work. So he said, I don't think I could sell him any salmon oil. I said, well, what if I give you 1 bottle? And the only thing I require is let me know how it worked, how much the benefit to you. He said, well, okay. So a month later, he came back and said his grandpa was opening his hands and 100% better. And he'd taken all the other salmon oil back to the health food store and said, you need to be taking this. So that was just incredible. The difference that we have, I think we lose sight of sometimes. But it is a miraculous product only because God, they're sticking close to what God made, and what God makes benefits. Okay, the third one I wanted to cover a little bit was carotenoids. We all understand it builds the immune system, but I like to think of it as keeping the body from rusting out. It actually covers a multitude of sins because we just cannot do everything like we want to do, and we fall off the rails. But carotenoid complex really saves us a lot of times. And it also supports good cholesterol levels, which is very important today. And I could go in this further by pointing out that my wife had COVID. She was 81. We have a gal that stays with us on the weekends. She's a nurse, and she brought a kit and she had COVID, but we thought she had just a cold, and that's all the further it went. Now, if she hadn't have been taking the carotenoid complex along with the other things, she would have had a lot more severe reaction to that, especially at her age. So I'm really blessed for that. And the last one I wanted to go over was Upbeat. We have a dear friend that has a mild case of diabetes. She's never had to take insulin. She can control it through diet. But she had neuropathy. And she had numbness. Her nerves were really bad. And it went down to her foot. And her toe got really inflamed and she couldn't hardly walk. And her whole foot started turning over on the side. She went to the doctor, they misdiagnosed it, so it went that way for too long. So now it looks like they're going to have to amputate her foot. And their big concern was she didn't have a good circulatory system. And the flesh around that foot was really bad shape. Well, this was about 6 months ago when he thought he might have to amputate. And so I talked to her about Upbeat. She doesn't have much money. So I told her I'd give her the Upbeat if she would take the Pro Vitality, and her family helped her pay for the Pro Vitality. Well, just about a month ago, they took x-rays and looked at it again. She has to go up every 2 weeks and have a cast put on it so the bone doesn't go right through the flesh. Well, they took x-rays and checked it over. And the surgeon said, this is incredible. The circulatory system is fantastic. And the tissue looks really, really good, which is a good sign for her having to have surgery and have this amputated, because they're afraid that it might go to the other foot. But the progression of it over the 6 months has stopped. We've got that stopped. And they're not afraid of it going into the other foot now. So we need to pray that the operation goes well. It's going to be done March 22nd, but she really feels good about it. And the doctor says this circulatory thing has just been wonderful, and he feels really good about the operation. So even though we can't save her foot, we can help her have a successful operation. And they said they could save it, but they'd have to put so much metal in it that you'd have probably infection and everything else that gets started in it. It'd take a year or two before it would heal up enough to be on it. So this, by far, knowing that, is the way to go. So anyway, I want to emphasize this morning the great benefit we have in a company such as NeoLife. And I want us to hold them up in prayer so they can keep producing supplements after God's way, so our bodies can feel the benefit and we can make a difference in the world. Now, I don't get discouraged. I built up my team. I had one fellow that went up to 4,000 every month. And he went up to Des Moines to a health seminar. And there's a big name guy there that told him that the supplements we were taking was junk and was not doing him any benefit. And he just dropped everything, his team and everything. So I know what it means to go high and be dashed to the ground, so to speak. Lose 4,000 a month. It was quite a drop for me. And so then just lately, great NeoLifer we had here was on his way to Pella on his motorcycle. A gal rammed into the back of a motorcycle going 60, 70 miles an hour. embedded his helmet and everything in the grill, went several feet down the road. They didn't see how he could ever survive. Thank the Lord. I think it's due to NeoLife and the years he's been in it, that today he is actually walking and able to talk. And he couldn't, they had to put almost every bone in his body back together again. And the doctor said he'd never seen anyone like that survive. So even though I lost another person for a while, I think we'll get him back on it. But just things like that will come up. You got to keep on replacing those people that will leave for various different reasons. And the Lord will bring whoever will benefit most back to you. So I'm really happy. And every month I seem to get enough to make 4,000. I told Bob a while back I'd like to get it to 10, but so far that hasn't been the Lord's will, I guess. But it's not because I'm not working at it. And I learn something every day, what to do better about approaching people and introducing the product. And I've seen a little bit better success in that. Before I was telling them too much. They aren't going to listen to all of that. Just tell them a little about it and let them think about it. And I've had people come several months later and ask me about it and actually sign up from what I said just months before. So anyway, that's what I've got to share this morning. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, thank you, Mark. As you guys can see, Mark is a wonderful person. He's got a great heart, and I don't mean his physical heart in his chest, although I probably great too, because he's been on the pro for over a century. But great mindset to serve his Lord and Savior, Jesus, and to serve people. Very strong on serving people, helping people. Got a great mind, great heart, and moving people. You guys, let's thank him one more time. And thank you so much, Mark.
All right. Thank you all for what you do.
All right. So right now I sent an email to Debbie because Debbie is quite an excellent, really good product person, I'm telling you. And I asked her if she could give us 3 to 5 minutes on her last newsletter. And she said she would. And John and Debbie are World Team Sapphire directors. I added up their volume for the last 12 months. You guys get this. Their team volume. They have a great director in Grants Pass, Jamie and Carol Wilson, and Chambers Music team in the last 12 months. You guys get this. They moved 165,862 PV. Isn't that awesome, you guys? So we're gonna have Deb wrap it up, and then we'll just do recognition, and we're done. Debbie, could you give us your report on the vitamin E, please? And thank you for helping us out.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to read this because I can't remember all this otherwise. So it's been 100 years since vitamin E was discovered back in 1923. And as we know, it's alpha tocopherol. Tocopherol means fertility and birthing. Alpha means the first one. Later, 3 more tocopherols were discovered, and then 4 tocotrienols. All 8 parts of the vitamin E family are found in our food, and it turns out your body needs all 8 for many different actions. Some of the functions of the 8 factors of vitamin E are similar, but there are other functions that are completely different. Research evidence indicates that the long ignored other 7 parts of the E family have important functions, some of which are different than those of the alpha tocopherol. As an example, in one study on the effect of tocotrienols on metabolic syndrome, researchers fed rats a high-carb, high-fat diet to induce obesity, with accompanying cardiac remodeling, insulin resistance, hypertension, fatty liver. The animals were then given oral alpha tocopherol and all alpha, gamma, or delta tocotrienols. The results showed that while all these vitamin E molecules reduce the number of inflammatory cells in the heart, only the delta and gamma tocotrienols improved cardiovascular function and systolic blood pressure. Also, only the delta tocotrienol affected important markers of metabolic syndrome and diabetes in 3 ways. 1, by helping the body create and process the glucose better. 2, by improving insulin sensitivity. And 3, by reducing lipids and abdominal fat. All this resulted in a reduction in organ inflammation, especially in the heart, liver, and the abdominal fat. So cholesterol has been touted as a threat for heart attacks for a long time. Turns out it's oxidized cholesterol that's the problem. A highly important function of vitamin E as an antioxidant is to prevent the oxidation of unsaturated fatty acids in cell membranes and helps prevent cholesterol from oxidizing. Another major factor in heart attacks and strokes, and one of the main causes, is blood clots. Vitamin E to the rescue. Alpha tocopherol has an anticoagulant effect. It reduces the signal for special types of white blood cells, the platelets, from sticking to one another to stop bleeding. This effect is great for reducing excessive clotting on minute hemorrhages in the arteries. It slows down the formation of artery clogging plaque. Besides its function as an antioxidant, vitamin E is also of great importance in energy production, playing an essential role in cellular respiration of all muscles, especially cardiac and skeletal. The vitamin makes it possible for these muscles and their nerves to function with less oxygen, thereby increasing their endurance and stamina. Now, a few tips on taking vitamin E. Vitamin E is best absorbed with fat and bile salts in the intestine, which means it's a good idea to take it with some fatty foods. Also, if you're taking iron supplements, especially in organic forms, don't take vitamin E at the same time. Wait a few hours. When should you start taking vitamin E for prevention? Immediately. Blood tests have shown that vitamin E shows up in the blood within a few hours. However, it takes a day or 2 to show up in the liver. And for muscles, and of course your heart is one of those, it takes a few weeks. And if you're looking to prevent Alzheimer's, then you are looking at months before vitamin E shows up in the nerves or brain. So if any of these things sound desirable to you, preventing the processes that clog arteries, lowering the risk of heart attacks, raising your immune function, saving your brain from Alzheimer's and possibly Parkinson's, blocking cell changes involved in promoting cancer, delaying the onset of type 2 diabetes, reducing exercise-induced cell damage, reducing the risk of cataracts, alleviating or preventing autoimmune inflammatory diseases such as arthritis, protecting the skin from sun damage, and slowing down the entire aging process, then you need to put vitamin E in your life. And the best one is NeoLife because it has all 8. So you're going to get exactly what nature intended. There you go.
Awesome. You guys, let's thank Deb for that good information and detail. Very, very good. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Debbie. Great job.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Deb is a wealth of product and health information, both. You know, you got product, what it can do, what makes it special.
I'm the nutrition geek. That's what I am.
Very good. And so we're grateful to have Deb in the team. I tell you, huge contribution.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Okay, you guys, we're gonna close. Let's thank all the speakers. Weren't they good, you guys, this morning? Very, very good group there. And now we're gonna thank people.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah, we're gonna thank people for the contributions they made. We've got quite a list here of achievers, but I think for time's sake, I'll just read the ones that are on the call. We had 6 senior managers, but we've just got 3 of them on the call today. So we got Rick and Barbara Bird at 1,115 points. Guys, give them a hand. I see Rick and Barb advance. I see them going to director and then beyond that. So, okay, then we have Nancy Reese at 1,297 points. Okay, those are both in Jamie's team. Jamie and his coach, Carol. And then we have Brent and Ramona up in Canada, such a pleasant couple with 1,439 points, huge contribution. Then we have Jolene Cox, Executive Director, 2,002 points. We're very grateful for Jolene and Dan. And then we have Kevin and Janet Cornelius with 2,008 points, Executive Manager volume. And then we have next one that's on here. Gina's not on the call now, but she gave us such a good presentation at the beginning. She had 4,262 points. Now, you guys heard her say she's had 2 kids, 2 little ones, a 1-year-old and probably about a 3-year-old. So her life has changed a lot in the last, and then they moved the last 4 years. She hasn't been very active at all, but can you imagine that, still doing over 4,000 with doing pretty much nothing. So that's residual income. That's amazing. The money has kept coming. Okay, then we have Mark Ritchie, 4,340 points. And boy, are we grateful for Mark. Mark has a ton of product knowledge and ability. Then we have Janice Grange, 4,676. We have John and Debbie in Grants Pass, 5,069. This is personal. We'll do team volume later, 5,069. Then we have Jamie and Carol Wilson, 5,899 points. We're ever so grateful for that contribution. We have next Leslie Hansen, 9,132 personal volume. Very good, very good. Then we have Daniel Hansen, 10,011 points. So that's excellent. Now our top 2, Barbara Chichester, 10,015. And then in number 1, she's vacationing right now in Palm Desert, California, Stephanie Beckett with 10,703 points. So you guys are our top 4 personal volume is amazing. The top 4, their average was 9,965. That's amazing. So congratulations to all those, everyone who contributed, and gratitude to you. Now for Sapphire Directors World Team, these are people that get invited to Hawaii in October. And then others of you can step up to this between now and October and also come. Wednesday night, we will give you the key to, it's very simple. It's nothing fancy at all. The keys to getting to director by convention. It'll take work, but I'll show you what to do. So John and Debbie, their group volume, 10,968 points. To give them a hand. Very, very good. Then in number 3 for World Team, Leslie Hansen, 23,428. Very nice volume there. And then in number 2, Victor Pearson, 25,880. He had 2 in his team that both did over 10,000. Okay, that's amazing. And then in number 1, this is a 3rd generation NeoLifers. My sister, Marilee Blomberg, she has her dad's team, who's with the Lord now. And that team, you guys, it did 54,306 points. So keep in mind, it's multi-generational. It can be passed down. Steffi, who was number 1 for personal volume, 10,703. Her daughter is on her distributorship. So when Steffi goes to be with the Lord, it will pass to her daughter, which would be great. Haley, her daughter, has 5 kids, and you guys extra 3,000, 4,000 a month. We all know how tremendously helpful that is. So this can be passed in the family. Okay, you guys, we thank everyone for participating. And actually, in about 17 minutes, I apologize, we went over about 17 minutes. We'll start up. We have 2 very powerful personal development type videos to show you from the Wisdom Builder team, which they brought in about 180 people last month. Can you believe that? In 1 month, about 180. So we're going to hear from 2 of their speakers. We're going to play at 11. And you guys, that's 963-644-1807 is the Zoom ID, and the password is ATP. So those of you that want some personal development and strengthen your heart and mind and spirit to take the rejections, the no's, the discouragement, get on in about 17 minutes. You'll hear some good stuff. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Teresa. Bye, Cindy.
Thank you.
Bye, Jamie. Nice to see you. Hi, Les.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye, Bob. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
Love you. You're great. You're great.
Thanks, everyone, for your contributions.
Yeah, no kidding.
Story.